Hey there, all you gutsy entrepreneurs. 'Tis I, Dave Murray, the big guy at Mayniax Branding, and for today's Mayniax Monday video, I want to talk to you about, well, why I hate, and I actually don't hate that many things, but I hate the term personal branding, and I want to tell you why. Here's what's up, gang. I was sitting down a while back at a coffee shop, because you guys know how I roll, and I actually heard some friends, some people that, like overheard at another table, some people talking about a buddy of theirs, and they said, yeah, the way he reacted was crazy. It was really off-brand. And I'm thinking, what? No. Because here's the thing, we are truly becoming a species, I think, that thinks of ourselves as personal brands. And here's my problem, the big time thing. The term personal branding flies in the face of authenticity and being able to evolve as an individual. Now, what do I mean by authenticity? Who you are in the moment, no matter what you're feeling, whether you're thinking something just totally different that seems out of character or whatever, expressing that, people are going to say that's off-brand. But the fact is, you're not a brand, you're a person. You're a person, you're people. Gang. That's what drives me nuts about personal branding. And so when people sit back and they say, well, that was really off-brand, you're thinking, no, I snapped, I was ticked off, I said this, or I made an absolutely terrible joke, which, let's be honest, me making terrible jokes isn't exactly off-brand, I suppose, but it's really tough. And what do I mean by personal branding flies in the face of being able to evolve as an individual? Here's the thing, and I will use the subject I know more about than anyone else in the world, this guy. So today, I'm pretty much, I'm Dave. You guys know a lot about me, to be perfectly honest, if you've been following us for any length of time. Years ago, I was a guy that was constantly going out to the bar. I could drink shots of whiskey and chug huge drinks of Long Island's, whatever it was, with the best of them. I was good at it. To the point where after a while I started to think, am I really an alcoholic? I mean, I got in fights with the sidewalk when I would walk out of a bar. Yeah, the sidewalk wins those fights, so don't stumble out of a bar. That's a bad idea. But I realized after a while that, you know what? That's not good behavior. One, I'm trying to build my reputation in the Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti area, and after a while I've realized we have to build the reputation of Mayniax Branding all over the world. So that's not a very good look for it. And another thing I realized is you can't focus when you're hungover all the time. And so, way back when, my brand was that of somebody that could get together with the guys and just chug whiskey and do shots and drink whatever under the sun and be goofy and all this. I kept the goofiness, mind you. But if you go back and you find those people today that I used to hang out with when it came to all that, they would say, wow, come on, Dave, let's have some shots of whiskey. Let's do this, let's do that. And when I would say no, then they would think, ooh, that's off-brand. But really, I just changed. I evolved. I did something that was good for me. But, the point of branding is consistency. And so what I've done is I've taken what I think are the best parts of me and made them values for Mayniax Branding. I like to have fun. I think that's a good thing. I truly believe that entrepreneurs are the keys to making this world a happier place. So entrepreneurship is one of the values. I genuinely believe that if you're a bigot, you are possibly the lowest life form on earth. So no bigotry is a big value. Health is a big, huge value. And for this topic of conversation, authenticity is a huge value. Something else I realized about myself: since my dad died in 2009, I haven't been as much fun as I used to be. And so I'm working on that. Since Dad died in 2009, I haven't. I've been the classic example of the person that drives people I care about away, or who care about me. It's just that whole thing, and I'm sure there's a perfectly good psychological explanation about it. Maybe the fact that Dad died, and I don't like to be too close to people because they're all going to go away eventually. Who knows? Who knows what it actually is? But I've realized that's something about me that has to change. It has to evolve. And a brand is about consistency. That's why I talked about the values part there. Those things will always be consistent about me, and those are deep, heartfelt things that will always be consistent about me. But if I stayed on brand by being that guy that was always chugging shots of whiskey, or if I stayed on brand by not having as much fun, or if I stayed on brand from back then by being that person who constantly drives the people away, or, whatever it is, those are things that if I was really worried about my personal brand, I would say, whoa, consistency, I have to be consistent. I have to always be that whiskey swilling dude, or I have to always be that less fun person who shoves people away that I end up caring about, And you can't evolve if you think of yourself truly as a personal brand, because that implies consistency. So I don't want any of you thinking of yourselves as a personal brand. I truly don't. You're people. You yourself watching this right now, you're a person. You're not a brand. You're going to evolve. And if you don't evolve, you're doing something wrong. So yeah, the whole idea of personal branding, it flies in the face of authenticity to me. It makes it seem like it's a construct, that you have to build what your personal brand is, instead of realizing your personal brand is just you going through life. And I don't even want you thinking of it as a personal brand. It's just you as an individual. It's you as a person. So stop thinking of yourself as a personal brand, please. And I know this is the second video I made about this, but I don't know that I drove it home so much, And I just can't see it. I can't see thinking of yourself as a personal brand being a good thing. It also makes it sound like, because it's a construct, it sounds like it's all these tactics you got to put together to be sure that people only see this little bit, this tiny little chunk of who you are. And the fact is, in a business context, I understand that. I really do. But even then, be you. Just be you. Don't be a personal brand. Be who you are. For me, when it comes to Mayniax branding, of course there are things that I don't share with the world. But that's the difference. In the business setting, you have to sit back and say, okay, this is the stuff I'm going to leave out. This is, but overall, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be this guy. Tony Horton, who's the guy who does the P90X series and all that, X. He's done a bunch of exercise programs, but he's the P90X guy, basically. I've seen interviews with him, and he says, when people talk to me, when I'm doing these videos, when I'm doing interviews, I'm the same guy I am anyway. I just, maybe in my private life, I'm a little more NC-17. So the man might make some cruder jokes when he's not out in the public. And, the big guy, that's me, might do the same thing. So there are things that I'm not holding it against you if you just kind of keep it from the outside world in a business context. And I get that, but you gotta allow yourself to be you. And if you don't allow yourself to be you, you don't allow yourself to be authentic, and you don't allow yourself to evolve. And, I have to evolve. I had to stop with the drinking. I have to stop not having as much fun, and I've realized how important it is to me personally to change to a point so I stop driving people away. And these are things that I understand about me that are off-brand compared to who I used to be, but if I didn't allow those changes to happen, I wouldn't grow as a person. Not taller, because there's no getting taller for me, sadly, at this point. So really just think about this. Stop thinking of yourselves as a personal brand. Start thinking of yourselves as people, as individuals, as you yourself is a person. You're growing. You're growing, you're evolving. There are parts of you that will never change. Those are the values I talked about for Mayniax branding. You know, but there are parts of you that you might realize sometime down the line, man, I really need to change this behavior. Or I need to change this about myself because it's making me miserable, or it's making people that I like not want anything to do with me. You know, you've got to allow that. And if you think of yourself as a personal brand, you don't really make room for that. You decide, this is who I was at this point, this is who I'm going to be forever. No, you can't do that. That's no way to live. Anyway, I've ranted long enough. But hey, take it from a guy who does branding that you need to stop thinking of yourselves as a personal brand. That's it. Everybody enjoy your Mayniax Monday. And as always... Why did I do that? Stay gutsy, gang.